also Chief Robert Brown, Chief of Operations. We're here today to talk about a terrible incident that occurred this morning. This morning at approximately 8:55 a.m., officers of the Joliet Police Department were dispatched to the 200 block of Southeastern Avenue in reference to a report of a 2-year-old that had suffered an accidental shooting. Upon arrival, it was determined that the toddler had shot himself. Once officers arrived, they found the father and the toddler in the kitchen of the residence. The first Joliet Police Department officers on scene immediately began attempting life-saving measures. An officer on the scene was able to transport the child outside to awaiting Joliet Fire Department medics. The child was then transported to immediate St. Joseph Medical Center, where unfortunately the child did succumb to his injuries. Again, the men and women of the Joliet Police Department want to extend our heartfelt condolences to the family of this child. This case does remain under investigation. However, at this point, it's being investigated as an accidental death and a tragic accident. That's essentially the statement I have. We'll take a very brief amount of questions, and again, let me just reiterate, this is under investigation, so there may be some questions that we are unable to answer.
A couple of questions just in a row here. Whose gun was it? Do we know where the gun was found when where the gun was when the toddler found it? And do we know anything about whether the safety was on?
The information that we have at the time is the gun is owned by the child's father. Do you have particular information about the location of the?
It would have been located.
And do we know if it was legally owned?
It was legally owned. It had been stored in a TV stand, a location to where the toddler was able to access it. It's a male.
And was the TV stand originally locked? And
that I do not know if it was secured or not. That was the location the father explained that the weapon was placed.
Is there anyone else around at the time?
No, the only two occupants of the residence was the father and the infant son.
And where was the father when it happened?
They were both in the living room area. He was attending to something that drew his attention, the father's attention, away from the infant for a short amount of time.
So he was still inside the house?
Yes, they were both still inside the house.
So they were both in the living room, and the toddler somehow got a hold of the gun in the TV stand, but then when officers got to the house, everyone was in the kitchen?
Yes, I believe, if I understand the facts right, when the father called 911, he explained the toddler was on the couch. It's common practice that the dispatcher that are trained in life-saving measures to place the child on a hard surface, so he put him on the kitchen table.
So the gun was not stored properly?
I will just say it was stored in a location that the infant was able to get control of the weapon.
Is it possible that, I know this is being investigated as an accident, but could charges come out of this?
We'll cross that down the road after all the reports are finished. We may do some more interviews, and of course we need to wait for the Will County Coroner's report. We'll make that decision a little bit down the road.
I think it's important to point out, too, no matter what the incident is, if anything is under investigation, there's always that possibility of criminal charges at the end of any investigation.
Do you mind saying your first and last name and how to spell that?
Yes, my first name's Joe. My last name's Egizio, E-G-I-Z-I-O.
Lieutenant, what do you want to say to parents who are watching this? It's just so awful. I mean, it's so tragic. What's the message to parents when it comes to?
Look, I can attest as a parent with my colleagues up here, things can go bad in a split second. You have to be conscious of where you're placing firearms if you own them. I, as a police officer and a firearm owner, have to make that conscious decision every night. But again, bad things happen to good people. Bad things happen quick. I'm not judging individual decisions. We are here to do our job, which we have, to investigate the unfortunate situation that happened this morning, and we'll leave it at that.
Where was the child shot?
In the head area.
Talk to me about, it's been around a couple of weeks for Joliet police officers.
I think it's been a rough couple of years for American law enforcement.
And we see it on your face.
Well,
Something like this.
I don't know why it's just hit me now. But,
No, it's been, you're right, it has been a rough couple weeks. You know, and I know you're aware, and maybe some of you other in the media are aware, you know, last week we just dealt with the unfortunate death of another child and the child's mother in a very tragic double fatal crash. And for us to stand up here and, you know, without emotion, obviously, you know, we are humans just like everyone else. And he's right, it has been a very difficult couple years for, you know, the police, you know, police in general. However, you know, we are committed to, we are committed to showing up and doing our job every single day. And I can't tell you personally that, you know, that's something that myself and my colleagues are working on as far as bringing some measures to take care of ourselves a little bit better, whether that is, you know, debriefing and any sort of that. So it's something that we're always looking out for each other. But you hit the nail right on the head. It has been a tough go here. However, I am 110% confident that my brothers and sisters of this department are going to show up every day and do just as good a job as they did before.
When was that crash, double fatal?
That crash,
We can go today.
I'm sorry?
We can go today.
Yeah.
In Joliet?
Yes. It occurred on Shanahan Road in between Hollywood Road and Hollywood Boulevard. Any other questions? Again, thank you guys so much. I'm sorry for the miscommunication as far as, you know, if we were going to just do some interviews or outside or inside. And thank you for always being extremely easy to work with. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you.